On the latest edition of Under the Headset, Utah Football Insight, we are going to talk a little defensive side of the football and in the trenches with former Ute great and defensive tackles coach Luther Elliss. Luther Elliss, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Another year on the way. How are you feeling about things? You've been here for so many iterations of Utah football. From a playing standpoint, you came back as an assistant to the program. You left for a while. You've been back for a couple of years now.
Yes.
You've seen a lot here in your time as a player and coach, haven't you?
Yeah. The growth and the maturity and to where the program's where it's at now is quite amazing. You know, starting with Coach Mack to Coach Scally now, and there's only been a few head coaches in there, and each one of them has done an amazing job and what they brought to this university and how they transformed the university, and it's been fun to see and to experience as a fan, as a alumni. And now as a coach, it's been really good to see, and I'm excited about where we're going and the direction Scally's taking us.
I want to get to that coming up in a few minutes, but let's start at the very beginning with your story. Mancos, Colorado.
Yeah.
What drew you? How did you find your way from a little tiny town in Colorado to Salt Lake City all those years ago?
Well, it was one of the assistant coaches, and I'm drawing a blank right now, which I can't believe I am. But anyways, he was watching another kid that we played in Grand Junction, Colorado, and he noticed the film, noticed this other on the other side, a big guy doing some good things, and then they came down to recruit me and see what it was about. And season was over, so it was basketball season when they came to watch to see what I could do. And the game that came was a good game. It was a lot of fun. You know, had a few dunks, a few things here and there. And then it kind of went from there. So it was a crazy journey just because, again, it's a small town. I mean, there's 800 people in our town, 100 kids in our high school, 25 in my graduating class. So very small and not very many people. I mean, you blink there, you miss it. And there's no stoplights. There's nothing of that nature. So it's one of those things that unless you're going there with it for an intent or a reason, you aren't going to, you'll blow right by it. So to have Coach Mack and those guys come and to recruit me from there. And then once my parents met Coach Mack and he came in, and as soon as he left, my mom's like, that's where you're going to school. So it was pretty much a done deal before it even began. But, very grateful and excited because it's been nothing but great.
I think a lot of people know Ron McBride today. Mm-hmm. The kindly grandfather-like figure. Everybody knows Mac. Everybody loves him. Mm-hmm. What was Mac like back then when he recruits you and brings you here to try to help kind of turn this program around?
Yeah, Mac was high energy. He was a little out there at times, and some things he did. I know one time we were not starting off well, and he brought us together as a team, and he put on some head garb and different things and chanted around this fire in a barrel, and we all had to write down things that we want to be better or things that we know we need to get rid of, and we wrote it, and he burned them all, and he said, all right, that's all done now, let's go, let's move forward. And I don't if you believe in that kind of stuff, but we did go on and start winning. So but that was kind of Coach Mack, just a magnetic personality, coach with his heart. He was all in, passionate, wanted you to be the best, asked you all, challenged you all the time about are you being the best, and pushed us to see how good we could really be.
Being here now and seeing everything, it's a different place. In some ways, the DNA and the fat fiber and the fabric and the foundation, a lot of F's right there, that Mac helped to build are still here, but it's a completely different place. But you being here now and looking back, because in a lot of ways, Luther, you and your class were part of the turnaround here at Utah, making Utah competitive and making Utah a player in the Mountain West or the WAC at the time. When you look back on that, what do you think about it now that you're here now, seeing where this program is?
Well, it's amazing where we're at now. Just taking, all the head coaches since Mac, which is not a lot.
No, it's not.
Urban, and then Coach Witt, and now Scally. taken and seen what they've done with it and how they've continued to transform and build upon the foundation that we kind of laid there. And speaking more towards Mac and the coaching staff and the players of that time, of just, I mean, the toughness, Mafu. We just had to be the toughest on the field. He said, we might not be the most talented, but we will out hit, out physical, and we're going to let them know when they leave this game, they're going to know they played the Utes. And it was that kind of mentality that kind of took over and pushed us all to be better than maybe what we really were. But Coach Mack had a way to get us all to believe and buy in, and then you continue that with Irvin and what he brought and just this run he had, and then you go Coach Witt with 20-plus years of winning and getting it done the right way. But I think if all those DNAs, and Scally's going to be the same because you saw what we did in the bowl game. So it's just one of those things like the toughness, the mentality. Again, I would go back to say Mafu. That kind of mentality is what kind of carried this program.
How do you guys teach that? How do you instill toughness? Because it's I was talking to some of your colleagues on these podcasts that coached other places. They always talked about when we played Utah, you knew you were in for a fight, but you worried not just about that week, but the next week, the toll the physicality took on you the week after you played Utah. That's been here since you played. How do you teach it? But how have you guys been able to maintain that mentality and mindset all these years?
Yeah, the teaching aspect was just tough, hard practices. We were pretty much going full speed every period for however many periods we went. They weren't afraid to reset practice. We could be 4 or 5 periods in, and if it wasn't going right, start practice from the very beginning with stretch and start all over. And so that was working more on the mental aspect of things, right? And then the way we would condition and push. All right, we have 5 gassers. Those 5 turned into 10, just to see how tough you were mentally, right? To see who could last and to push each other and to hold each other accountable and do those things, and running stadium stairs as a team and doing those things. I mean, there's so many things I think we did, and running up to the U that challenged you both physically and mentally, and just became the way we did things. Like, we would tell recruits, like, don't come here if you're not ready. Like, you got to understand what this is. This is not a everyday football program where, they're bringing you iced tea and lemonade and everything else like that. No, this is you're going to bring your work boots, bring your lunch bell, and let's go. And make sure you're ready to go, because if not, this is not the place for you.
It seems almost counter to where we are today with society and culture and even kids. Is it harder to find kids that want to be part of that type of culture and mentality today? Do you have to be a little bit more particular in the recruiting process?
I think we are in how we recruit, just because, again, we're different than a lot of programs. Like, we're still kind of old school. We still have that mentality. We still work like that. We coach like that. Players play like that. And again, before we would even bring in recruits now, no matter how talented they are, if they don't have that DNA, they don't fit our culture, right? And especially now with Coach Galley and RSNB and what we try to instill in these kids now, if they don't fit that culture, we're not bringing you in. You could be a 5-star, you could be a 10-star, you could be a future NFL Hall of Fame guy, but if you don't fit our culture, we're not going to, because you'll be disruptive. It's not about it's not about the team then, it's about him. And so we're a team first organization, and part of that team is being mentally tough. And if you don't fit that, let's not bring you in, because it's not worth it. You're going to be gone in probably less than a year, and we'll be looking for another guy. So we try to make sure when we're recruiting the kids, visiting with coaches and people of the school outside, janitors, everybody's just tell us about this kid. Who is he? What kind of personality? What kind of traits? Who is he as a person? So we can understand, will he make it?
I want to talk about Scally and the new era here in just a second, but I think it's really cool as I watched Morgan put this staff together. And I've been around here 25 years now, not as long as everybody, but when I first moved to Salt Lake, it was the end of the MAC era. And it's been really interesting to see to me, and it's got to be kind of cool for you. Good portion of this staff, maybe not quite half, but pretty close, are Ron McBride guys. You played for MAC. Sharif played for MAC. Odom played for MAC. Jordan played for MAC. Morgan played for Mac. Right. He was interesting because he played for Mac, and he played for Kyle, and he played for Urban. But that DNA, again, going back to the foundation and the DNA, And I know talking to Ron, he's proud of it too.
Oh, yes.
But it's a pretty cool way to look at things, the ties that a lot of you guys have.
Yeah, it really is. It's quite amazing that, and again, it goes back to stability, identity, knowing who you are. Like you shared speaking with other coaches that have come from other organizations that have played us, they're like, you got to realize it's not just the game itself that you play, it's the after effects. The next game, maybe in 2 games, your guys are still beat up from the Utah game. So it's one of those things like, hey, we got to make sure we're not just ready mentally, but physically we can handle the game that's about to take place here, because it is going to take a toll on this team. So it's just that kind of DNA that's within this organization that causes us to be who we are. But again, I would say it's more built on the identity, and we know who we are. And whether it's Scals or it's Mac, it's just the way we've been taught,
Right.
the way we've done things, and we've seen success with it. And reality, there's some teams that, the Sugar Bowl, Utah, Alabama, like on paper, they're a lot better than us.
Yep.
And forgive me, not just player wise, I'm talking about coaching staff too, supposedly, right?
Yeah,
If you looked at it, like the pedigree that's over there and everything that happened, they should demolish us. And I get, they're down because they didn't get it, whatever. They can say all they want. When it came to game time, mano y mano, and we showed who we were. And then again, that's our identity. That's who we are. That's how we play. Like we might be a no-name team, but at the end of the day, you're going to remember who we are as a team, that we are the Utes. And you know what a Ute is now. After you leave our stadium or after you play us, like you'll understand what we bring.
And by the way, I didn't even mention the fact that Swan and McGiven and Brechterfield, they all have ties to Mac as well.
Right, exactly. Through Weaver and everything else.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
That's great.
So there's a lot of ties there that, again, just being a great person first and foremost in Coach Mac, but as a great coach and doing what he has done in his tree that a lot of coaches come under have done and succeeded. And they're great coaches.
One thing I've gotten from talking to a lot of people this offseason, players, coaches, staff, there's a different energy and vibe in this building where you guys are. Have you felt it too?
Oh, yeah. Anytime I think there's change.
Yeah.
And we won't say it was good, bad, whatever. It's just anytime there's a change, you got 2 options, right? You either can embrace it or you can be negative and be like, well, Coach Galley's done such an excellent job here, right? From safety coach, DC, special teams. He's kind of covered the whole gamut, minus the offensive side of the ball, even though he has a great mind for that too. He's kind of done it all and seen it all and been it all, that people are excited about his opportunity, his leadership. It's his time. And he's done an excellent job with the defensive side and how he's handled and carried us. And we've always had RSNB since I've been here. And that's been our culture, and that's who we are, and that's what we do. And that's why I think you see us so consistent in how we do things. So it's just a continuation of that. And I think people are really excited. And again, he's younger, and not that Coach Witt was old. Like, he just has maybe a different perspective on how to approach football going forward. Again, he's a disciple of Coach Witt. So he's going to there's a lot of things that are very similar. I say probably 90%. But that little 10% will be Coach Galley, and he's going to be great at what he does, and we're all excited about that.
I'm going to guess you're not wildly surprised by the energy, the enthusiasm. You've worked with Morgan for the last 4 or 5 years and known that he's coaching waiting. So you've seen it behind. I think a lot of people are kind of that aren't around the program a lot. It's new to them, but you've seen it in those meeting rooms, those defensive meeting rooms every week.
Yeah, he brings the energy. He's always having fun. He loves what he does. He's a great coach, great mind. And in that, he's also fun. He likes to dance. He likes to sing. And he can sing. I think there's a little video out there where he's done it. And he can really sing. He can sing all sorts of genres too. He can do that, and he can dance. And
who likes to sing more, him or Atuaya?
Oh.
Because they both like to sing.
Yeah, but I would say Coach Scally. Well, because I don't know. I see Mark on that side a lot. I know he gets some sings every once in a while, and Freestyle Fridays and things of that nature. But I think Coach Galley might have him a little bit, because Coach Galley will just be watching film and he'll just start singing, and he'll turn on some music. And so I've seen that Coach Galley and his personality for a few years now, and just his passion for the game and his love for the game, and not just the game, but the players, the coaches, and it all matters to him, and to be excellent in everything we do. And to be able to do that, you got to establish your culture. You got to establish who we are, our identity wise, and that's what RSNB is. And he brings all that every day, but it's an amazing way. And again, he brings the juice. So when your head guys bring the juice like that excited, it just brings uplifts everybody in the building.
I'm really curious to get your view on your room as you head into fall camp.
Mm-hmm.
You've got several guys returning, but you got a bunch of new faces in your defensive tackle room this year. I always say rinse, wash, repeat. Utah's always strong up front. It's part of that culture and that DNA we were talking about earlier. But give me your read on your room as you head into the season.
I'm really excited about my room. I'm really excited about the talent that we have in the room and the guys who are returning. And then I'm excited about the new guys. They brought a lot to the room as far as competition, pushing the guys that have been here for a little bit. And again, you got to remember, majority of my room is pretty young.
Yeah.
We're young. We lost a couple guys there to the portal, and those would have been the veteran guys. And we have one guy we brought in that will be a senior. But besides that, my room is pretty young. Freshmen, sophomores, maybe a couple juniors. But overall, the energy that's in our room is really good right now. And the competition is close and it's fierce. And guys are coming back, like Carson and Poo-Poo have done a great job really implementing themselves and taking on the leadership role, especially Carson. He's really embraced that, and he's done a great job with that. Poo-Poo's still growing and becoming who he's going to be, but he's so talented.
Crazy athlete.
Crazy athlete, and just doesn't know what he really has yet. And so is Carson, actually. Carson is an unbelievable athlete, too. I don't know if they played one-on-one yet in basketball, but I can't wait to see that battle of the Titans there. But then, you got Jairo who's come in, and he's had a huge impact. And what's so amazing about him is just as a true freshman last year, he got to play the majority of the games, and the things he was doing on the field as a true freshman are really impressive. So he's fit in really well. We got Jamal, who's my older guy, who's a phenomenal pass rusher, has a great knack for getting off the ball and causing havoc. You got Lucas. And Lucas is a big monster in the middle that can do lots of things and has tons of power and moves a lot of people. And then you got Big Mike, returner, healthy, is getting back his strength and his ability to change direction, different things. So that's good to see. And he's going to have an impact there too. And then got Battle. Battle's doing a great job in there. Again, coming back from injury. But he's very talented. He could do a lot of good things. And then Stanley Ross is just a big bulldozer that's done a good job of putting on weight and stuff. And then we have Peppa, too, Junior, who's doing a great job. So I'm really excited about my room. Really, any given week, it could be different guys starting. And that's kind of how I laid it out for my guys is, hey, don't be comfortable just because you're a starter day one doesn't mean you are the guy. Like, you have to compete every day, which is good for my room. I think it's good for players in general, knowing that you have to compete every day to prove yourself, to maintain your quote unquote status or your position within the team. So development will be great. It'll be better because of that. The guys are going to have that game experience to help them become the best player that they can be. So I'm excited about the room. It's right now to say who's going to be the starter. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Carson, Poo-Poo are, kind of have the nod just because of who they are, but Jai's pushing them, and Lucas and Jam and Mike. And I mean, it's going to be a tough decision when it comes to fall, because we typically only carry 5 guys. So it'll be tough to see who those 5 are.
Coaches love competition. Before I let you go, I've been asking everybody this to wind things down. You've seen a lot of football in your life. Mm-hmm. You've coached it, you've played it, you've seen it. Mm-hmm. What has you most excited about this team this fall, Luther?
I think their competitiveness. This spring was probably one of the best springs I've ever seen, and far as early football practices and how they showed up every day. And they were competitive but not combative, but they were pushing each other. Even to the last practice we had, which was no pads, they were still going like they had pads on. So it was almost like, okay, you rather have that issue of having to pull back on the reins and then trying to get them going. So right now, the competitiveness of this team is exceptional. And you can add, like, they're passionate, they love what they're doing, they're putting in the extra time, but the way they competed all spring ball, and it was from day one. It was not like, hey, let's get this going. It was like, okay, guys, we have no pads on. Like, let's take care of each other. Let's make sure we can get to the game one healthy, and that this goes the direction that we need it to. So I love that about our guys. I love that they want it. They want to, because right now, not that we read the media and everything else, but people talk and kids hear and they start talking amongst themselves. I know we're like, not too many people are expecting too much. So I think that's a little edge that the guys are enjoying, and they're going to use that to continue to fuel that fire.
Well, I'm excited for it. Luther, thanks.
Appreciate you. Thank you.